walls aren't racist. And of course, I'm referring to Trump's wall. This is possibly the most stupid issue the left have chosen to take up, because it's a non-issue. Almost anybody except a far leftist would think it's perfectly reasonable to put a wall on an international border. Guess how many international borders have walls? Fucking all of them. If you have two different countries, there's something called a border crossing. If you want to transfer from one country to another, you need to take a passport and you need to walk across that border crossing legally. If you're against a wall, you're against countries and you're against laws. If you're against countries and laws, you are a very small percentage of society, and you're a fucking moron, because countries and laws are necessary components for a functioning society. If you don't have borders, if you don't have a coherent country, if you're not in control of who's coming into your country, you're not in control of anything. You could have terrorists coming in, you could have criminals coming in, human traffickers, people coming in to depress wages. If you want immigrants to come in, fine, let them do it legally. To say that there's no barrier on an international border, and that's good, it's fucking insane. You cannot have any principles. And this is such a losing issue for the left, because almost nobody thinks borders and countries and laws are bad things. They're obviously good things. But it just makes no sense to be against a wall, unless you're against it on financial grounds. If you think it's far too expensive, if the cost-benefit analysis that you've done is that it's just too expensive, that's a reasonable argument, potentially. Although you should prioritise money to control who's coming into your country. You should vet who's coming into your country. You should know who's coming into your country and who's going out of your country. If you have no barrier across thousands of miles of your border, you can't do any of those things. Those things are important. But that's not what the left's saying. The left isn't saying it's too expensive. They're primarily saying it's racist to keep out people that have no legal right to be in a country. It's racist to stop that rapist walking across the border and raping and murdering a woman, something that's happened many times across the US southern border. Not only has that happened many times, sanctuary cities, which are cities where they do not cooperate with the federal government to deport illegal immigrants, sanctuary cities will actually stop that rapist and murderer from being deported. There are shady, well-funded elements across the US and the West who actively try to disrupt the normal functioning of a country, such as knowing who's in your country, getting rid of people who shouldn't be there, enforcing the law, enforcing the borders of your country. There's many unhinged extremist organisations out there, like Abolish ICE. I mean, how can you have a country if you abolish border enforcement? You can't. If you want to abolish ICE, you want to abolish the USA, along with other Western countries, the greatest countries that have ever been created. This is why everyone wants to get into them. You're destroying the reason why so many immigrants want to come to the West. You're a fucking moron. You've got some kind of mental disease, like people that say they're communists now, despite comprehensively proving communism not only can never work, but is pure evil, an immoral, bigoted ideology. It's the same with the open borders. Nuts. Open borders can't work. If you agree with the principle of laws in a country, which almost everyone does, you need to put a wall on your border. Estimates say anywhere from 13 to 30 million illegal immigrants in the US. 30 million people that have no right to be there, that illegally crossed into the country, are there. This is a horrifically bad situation. We don't know who any of these people are. don't know which of them are criminals. When numbers this large are coming in, it permanently changes the character of the country. They haven't had to take a Pledge of Allegiance. They haven't had to do any. In fact, it's much more difficult for them to integrate because they have to maintain a low profile. They'll just slip into communities of people from their own country. They won't integrate. And they'll be continually undermining the country they're in. If you want to do immigration, do it legally, in the open, decide how many people you want, allow people to vote on that, and make sure people get integrated. Illegal immigrants cannot do any of those things. They don't have full dignity, they don't pay all taxes, and they don't have all the rights that a citizen would have. Defending illegal immigration is lunacy. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you just want anarchy, unless you want us to go back and live in caves. Far leftists basically just want us to be cave disabled white men of colour. Unfortunately, they love their iPhones, and there's not too many iPhones in caves, you fucking morons. Walls are not racist. Walls are very useful. Prisons have walls. Houses have walls. Why don't all these leftist twats take the walls away from their houses and see how much of their stuff is left in the morning? Because they know walls do work, because they're lying. They want to undermine the USA because they're idiots and they haven't thought through what that means. What it means is their life will be shit and everyone else's life will be shit. Walls work. Walls are not racist. Borders are a good thing. Fucking get over it.